Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome to the Allegheny Health Network Nightly Sports Call. I'm Josh Taylor, in tonight for Bob Pompiani, joined in studio from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and also co-host of the Cook and Pony Show on 93.7 The Fan, Ron Cook. And Ron, we just saw moments ago the Pirates just wrapped up with the Brewers.
Another loss.
The final score. Another loss here. Wasted start by Ivan Nova, where he traditionally gets lit up in Milwaukee. Goes to Milwaukee, actually pitches well. They can't put up runs on the board.
Yeah, that was the best part tonight was Nova's pitching because he's been awful. Since the All-Star break, I think he was 1-3 with a 6.67 ERA coming in, and he pitched a fine game tonight. Bell had a throwing error that cost him 1 run. It would have been a double play. I don't know if we're seeing Pedro 2 over there or not. I mean, Bell makes great plays, but he's having trouble throwing the ball. And they have a guy thrown out at the plate who happened to be Bell. I had no problem with that. That was an aggressive play. He tried to score on an overthrow at third base. And then the go-ahead run, actually the winning run, was a ball that hit off of Freese's glove, and it looked like maybe he would have been out on replay, but Hurdle had challenged Bell being tagged out at the plate. I don't know what he was thinking there. That ball was in the catcher's glove. He's entitled, my understanding of the rule, to block the plate when he has the ball, and he did have the ball. Hurdle challenged it, loses. Now he doesn't have a challenge late in the game. I don't know if it would have mattered. If Bell might have come off the base before the ball got there.
That was the rule that Hunter Wenderstedt.
I mean, it would have been nice to challenge it and review it, but didn't work out that way. I don't know what Hurdle was thinking on that challenge.
With the challenge on the
play at the plate.
Yeah, that was rough to call.
I mean, I don't know what that rule is half of the time, but to me, the ball was clearly to the catcher. He's entitled to the plate when he has the ball.
Yeah, that's happened a lot where we see managers call a challenge on that play at the plate when they're.
I don't think they understand it half the time.
They probably don't get it. Yeah, that's true. The Buster Posey rule is probably the least interpreted rule of all the rules that have ever been created, probably in the last 10 years. It's the one that's probably the most vague and ambiguous. We really don't have a clear understanding of how it works. With that said, it probably cost the Pirates a challenge. They might have had a chance, like you mentioned, to challenge the play at first base, and maybe that tying run does not score. Maybe that inning ends, but at the same time, this game.
The bottom line is you get what you deserve. And they've lost 3 in a row now. They had played well to get back to 58-58. They lose 2 in Toronto, now lose this one. The first of 34 out of 38 against division teams. The Cardinals lost tonight. The Cubs were losing. Milwaukee obviously picks up a game on the Pirates, but you're 3 games back below 500 again. I still can't take you serious when you're 3 games under 500.
I've made the analogy a couple times already this season with if you ever had the math problem in class about the turtle in the well who climbs up a couple steps and at nighttime he slides down a couple more steps. You got to figure out when he finally climbs out of the hole. That's the Pirates. They continue to climb up to 500, and then something happens and they slip down a couple more steps again. They never seem to get past it. They did it for the one game in Colorado. Not to be
they lose Polanco in that night.
Gets hurt again.
Right, now he's out again yet. Now I don't know that he's going to be back this year. I really don't. I could see them shutting him down because this is the 3rd hamstring injury.
I think they should.
I guess it's encouraging that Cervelli has not gone on the DL yet. They're going to give him. Yesterday was the day off. He didn't play today. He's not going to play tomorrow. Maybe when they get back home Thursday night against St. Louis, he'll be able to play. But Polanco, 3rd time with this hamstring. I don't know that he's going to play again this year.
I would not expect him back. I would expect them to shut him down.
Only 6 weeks to go.
If you had a problem once, maybe it's happenstance. Twice, you start to worry. 3rd time, it's got to be a
He's got some sort of issue there.
To sit him down because they keep trying to bring him back in 10 days, and then something comes and happens later on again, and it becomes a problem.
Well, it's a shame he got hurt the 2nd time because he was tearing it up in July, hitting almost 400. A big part of why they went 12-2. During that stretch, and then once he came back from the 2nd injury, didn't do a lot for me.
It is frustrating, like you mentioned, and then both times, the 2nd and 3rd time, it's when the team finally gets back to 500. 500 it looks like they're trying to make that push to get past it and maybe really make some hay in the division, and then it happens again. Meanwhile, Elias Diaz called up from Indianapolis. You mentioned Francisco Cervelli. They'll take a couple days to figure it out with him. What do you make of Diaz being called up? Does this open a door for him, or is he just there just in case?
Well, I think he's just there. I mean, Hurdle said today that he's going to play Stewart again tomorrow.
People like that one.
And then, if Diaz, I would assume, would go back down for an outfielder if Cervelli's able to play on Thursday. Now, I'm not sure Cervelli's out of the woods just yet. But that seems to be the plan at this point.
And it sounds like a serious problem for him. If you read the story about him being pulled out, and he said, you know, I normally don't beg out of games, but he said the wrist injury was so bad he could barely catch the ball. And
he said he had trouble swinging, trouble catching.
Swinging.
Man, it's tough being a catcher if you can't catch or hit, right?
That's a problem.
That's a big, bad problem.
It seems like a problem that should probably take a lot more than a couple days to figure out, too. Maybe
well, you know, we'll see what they say on Thursday when they get back home.
In the meantime, Steelers training camp. The Steelers, of course, had the day off today, but they're back at it tomorrow. They face the Falcons on Sunday. Heard a couple different things from the players in the past couple days. Josh Dobbs talked about the things he needs to learn and fix to get ready for next week. Arthur Moats talked about having a strong game, but he was just more or less just wanting to get out there and try to go up against somebody that wasn't his own team. Just wanted to get out there and get some action in. Ben Roethlisberger sat down with Bob Pompiani yesterday. He talked about some interesting things about this season. One of those things that came up, Bob asked him if he thought the offense could be a 30-point offense again this season with Martavis Bryant back in the fold, expecting Le'Veon Bell back. He says he hopes so. He thinks they could do it, but he also noted that it takes him also performing better. They have to perform better in the red zone, but he's back to thinking that this could be a 30-point per game offense.
Well, he was on our show from Latrobe yesterday, too. We're going to have the Roethlisberger show every Tuesday at 11 during the season, and he told us the same thing. He said 30 is always the goal. Thinks the offensive line is terrific. You know, worries a little bit about Le'Veon Bell when he's going to get in there, what kind of football shape he's going to be. But certainly he has a lot of weapons to use, and I'm real eager to see how they can do.
I'm eager to see that. I'm also eager to see the defense. He talked about the defense in his interview with Bob as well. He talked about how they've come along and how those guys are a year older and a couple are a year better. And we also found out that it looks like it's going to be T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree getting the lion's share of the reps on the outside. So that's something to pay attention to as well. In the meantime, we'll take a break. We come back. We'll answer your phone calls about the defense. We'll talk about the Steelers. We'll talk about the Pirates as well. Stick around.